Beat Batter Bake with me, Upasana. Today we are going to make everyone's favorite garlic bread from scratch, but we are going to stuff it. For this we will need 250 grams of flour, that is around 2 cups. To this I am going to add 1 tablespoon of crushed garlic. Mix it in the flour. Make a well in the middle and add 1.5 teaspoon of instant dry yeast. To this I am going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar, that is around 10 grams. Now add some lukewarm water to it and bring it together. This is going to be a sticky dough. We have used almost 1 cup of lukewarm water to bring it together. If you think your dough is too sticky, please don't be tempted to add more flour to it. Now in a separate bowl, take 1.5 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of chili flakes, 1 tablespoon of mixed herbs and half teaspoon of salt. Mix all of this together. Now take your dough and add it in this bowl. Incorporate the oil into the dough and knead it for around 5 minutes. Once everything is incorporated well, cover it with a damp kitchen towel and keep it aside for 1 hour. Our bread dough has been proving for an hour and it has doubled in size. Now put some dry flour on your workbench and get your dough out. Knead it for around 30 seconds. Our dough is extremely soft. Now divide this dough into 2 parts. Put some more flour and start spreading out the dough. You can spread it out with your hand or roll it out with a rolling pin. Our dough should neither be too thick nor too thin. Now it's time to stuff our garlic bread. We are going to spread some garlic butter on it, that is 2 tablespoons of butter, and I am adding 1 teaspoon of crushed garlic to it. Now with the help of a brush, spread it on your bread. Now we are going to stuff it with some pickled jalapenos. They are easily available in any food store. I am also adding some black olives. Then I am going to add a generous amount of grated mozzarella cheese. Now lift one part of your bread and seal the edges. Now I am going to make some markings with a knife, but I am not cutting all the way through. Now brush some more garlic butter on top. Then put a generous amount of chili flakes and mixed herbs on top. Apply this garlic butter on your baking tray and put chili flakes and mixed herbs on this. Carefully lift your bread and place it on your baking tray. Now we have to bake this in a preheated oven at 200 degrees for around 15 to 20 minutes. But please start checking after 15 minutes because every oven is different. Our bread is out of the oven. Now I am going to brush some butter over it. So that was the recipe for our cheesy stuffed garlic bread. Hope you liked it. Please subscribe to Rajshri Food for more such yummy recipes. Until next time, bye-bye.
Hi guys, I'm Bhumika. This happens with everyone, I'm sure. You have guests over for dinner and they come in early and the food is never ready. There's no need to panic, I have a solution for you guys. While you're busy prepping in the kitchen, your guests can stay busy eating this garlic cheesy pull-apart bread. It's so easy yet so delicious, they're going to be taking so many pictures of it. Let's see how it's done. Let's start with our flavorful liquid first. Butter makes everything better. This is half cup of butter. Put this in a microwavable bowl. Then it's time for 6 to 7 cloves of garlic. I've chopped it finely. And next goes in a mixture of coriander and parsley. You can use dried herbs as well. And lastly, 2 tablespoons of oil. Melt this in the microwave for 2 minutes. This will take off that rawness of that garlic. Let's talk about the bread now. I'm using a sourdough loaf right here. You can use any kind of normal bread that you like. If your bread is a little too soft, put it in your oven at the highest temperature for 10 minutes. This will make the crust really crispy and it will be so easy to cut your bread. Let's cut it now. I'm cutting the bread at an angle. While cutting your bread, use a bread knife. This will make your life so much easier. As you can see, I'm not cutting the bread all the way through. Leave about an inch at the bottom. Once you finish making cuts on one side, turn the bread around and make cuts at the other angle. This will give you nice diamond shapes on your bread. We're going to fill our flavorful liquid into all these cracks and crevices. The kitchen smells so good right now because of this. We're going to use this flavorful liquid to flavor our bread. Just use a brush to baste your bread with this. Open up all these cracks and fill in as much butter as you can. I've got a place full of sliced mozzarella and gouda right here. You can use any kind of cheese that you like, but I suggest use mozzarella for sure. It will give you that nice cheese pull. So we're going to use our sliced cheese and fill it into the bread crevices. Make sure you fill in all these gaps. Alternate gouda and mozzarella. Cut the slices into smaller pieces and try to fit them into all these gaps. Cheese usually contracts when it heats up, so be generous with it. Now we'll wrap our bread into this silver foil. We're doing this so that it doesn't fall apart in the oven. Make sure it is covered completely from the bottom. Use one sheet for the bottom and one for the top. Bake this at 180 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes. Let's take off the silver foil from the top right now. As you can see, the cheese has completely melted. We're going to put this back in the oven for 5 more minutes so that our bread can crisp up from the top. Cheese has melted, the bread has become crispy. Now it's time for the cheese pull that I promised you. I'm sure you'll enjoy this recipe as your guests pull it apart.
So let's begin with my style of Schezwan cheese Maggi. Like I said earlier, of course you've seen their versions. I'm going to get it technically correct. Like I hinted to Abir, that the vegetable cut needs to be a little similar to that of the main or core ingredient. So of course the step here is to julienne the cabbage and move on to peeling the carrot. These also need to be cut in juliennes. Similarly, let's cut the capsicum. finally, let's shell the green peas. Well, these are personally some of my favorite ingredients, but of course you have a choice of using the ingredients of your choice. You want to make a nice mushroomy cheese Schezwan Maggi, of course use mushrooms. Now that the peas are shelled and ready, the next step of course is to begin cooking. For that, need to heat a wok on high flame and add in a generous amount of butter. This of course is salted butter, and that way you're going to adjust the quantity of salt later. Once the butter kind of begins to melt, we'll add in the vegetables that are cut and ready. The first one of course are some carrots, followed by cabbage, and finally the sweet peppers or capsicum. Well, I'm going to retain the sweet peas for a little later. The first thing is to toss all of these till they're cooked yet remain a little crunchy. I'm just going to add in a touch of salt. Remember the fact that we've used salted butter, the Schezwan has salt, the cheese is going to have salt, so just a pinch and that's going to be good. Once this is kind of stir fried on high flame for a minute, let's turn the flame off and transfer this in a bowl. In the same wok, I'm going to add in some water. When I say that, I mean you add water as per your choice. You would like or enjoy Maggi that is saucy, soupy or dry. That's a personal choice. Well, I personally like it nice and saucy and juicy, so I am adding a little more of water. Since we are using green peas and they of course require a little more time to cook, the first thing that goes in are some peas. It's been roughly around a minute and the peas have just kind of started turning tender. The next thing that goes in is of course the slab of Maggi. At this stage, let's also add in the magic Maggi seasoning. Well, this of course is a set proportion of a spice mix that comes with the packet. But in case you wish to spike it up, make it spicier, you can choose your own spices. You can add in some green chilies chopped, make it the way you want. Give this a few flips and allow this to cook for 2 minutes, as they say. The noodles almost 3/4 done. Time to add in the vegetables. Just adding like 3/4 while I keep the remaining as garnish. A quick toss and time to add in the Schezwan and 1 cube of cheese. Let's grate this right into the wok so it becomes nice and cheesy. One quick toss. Top this up with our sauteed vegetables and finally grate in some cheese. With this, your Schezwan cheese Maggi is done and ready. With this, my version of Schezwan cheese Maggi is done and ready, and this time of the year, make it for your family and friends, and more importantly, make it for you. Generally, we all love pizzas, isn't it? Well, today I'm showing you a non-tiring, effortless method of making pizza bombs. The flavor's intact, the process intact, but you can freeze it and enjoy it at ease. Hey guys, this is Varun Ruchi and welcome to Rajshri Food. Today I'm showing you pizza bombs. Let's begin. First things first, you need a soft and pliable pizza dough. Well, I've already kneaded it and I've kept it ready. It's a very simple process, a very simple recipe. All you need to do is you need to check the description box below for a detailed recipe with measurements. That's the dough, which is of course ready here with me. Just bringing it out, and you need to knead this one more time. You need to add in some refined flour and just kind of dry it out slightly. Roll the pizza dough into a neat little cylinder. You need to cut these into marble-sized balls, like so. The next step is to dredge a little bit of flour. Take these individual little marble-sized balls and roll these into a thin disc, which is roughly around 2 inches in diameter. The next step is absolutely simple. All we need to do is add in just a touch of tomato sauce or tomato ketchup or pizza or pasta sauce. Add in a sprig of fresh herbs. You can use thyme, you can use oregano. Choice is absolutely yours. And lastly, I'm going to add in a cube of mozzarella cheese. All you need to do is bring all of this together, applying a little water on the sides. Otherwise, it's not going to stick at all. Bring all of this together, roll it, and keep it aside for now. Our pizza bombs are stuffed and ready. Let's move on to the next step, and that is making a slurry and crumbing them. Just a little bit of water in refined flour. As good and simple as this is, the slurry is done and ready. The next step is to bring the breadcrumbs. Well, you can use the fresh ones or the toasted ones. Choice is yours. Let's drop these bombs which have been stuffed into the slurry. Let's roll it properly and well and transfer this into the breadcrumbs. As simple as that. Let's dredge this with breadcrumbs, and here you have your first pizza bomb, which is now stuffed, dipped in slurry and crumbed, ready to fry. These can also stay best frozen and enjoyed whenever you want. Keep these in the freezer and enjoy maximum 30 days, not more. Let's move on to deep frying as a technique. Well, this may seem to be a lot of oil, but whenever you choose deep frying as a cooking technique, always try and use umami, healthy and tasty refined rice bran oil because it kind of gets absorbed lesser. It's also a healthy variety of oil because of oryzanol. It's also enriched with vitamin D, and that keeps your bone health in check. Remember that. The oil is heated up and our pizza bombs have also rested well. Let's deep fry these. They're golden fried and ready. Let's rest these well and also use a kitchen paper to kind of drain all the excess oil. Nothing tastes better than deep fried pizza, and when I say that, I absolutely mean it 100%. Make this for your family and friends, for your game nights or party nights, and trust me, you all will crave for more. On that note, do not forget to like and share the video and subscribe to Rajshri Food.
Cooking food and keeping tab on time is very difficult, especially when there's a party happening. So in situations like these, you need the easiest route to tasty food, like the cheesy vol au vents that I'm making today. So let's see how. In a hot pan, I'm going to heat a little bit of butter. Finely chopped garlic. Red capsicum. Finely chopped zucchini. Finely chopped mushrooms. And finely chopped baby corn. You can even use yellow corn if you have some. Just cook this for like 30 seconds, not more. While this is cooking, I'm going to take a little bit of milk and mix some corn flour in it. Just a little bit. Stir it in. Keep it aside. Once the vegetables are cooked a little bit, I'm going to add some ketchup. Just dry out the ketchup a little bit. And now I'm going to add the milk mixed with corn flour. Stir it in. Once the milk is a little thick, I'm also going to add some mozzarella cheese, some salt, pepper, and turn off the flame. Mix it in. I'm also going to add some dried oregano. You can even add chives, some fresh parsley, or even basil, whatever you have. Any fresh herb would also do. The reason why I've added the cheese in the filling already, because I want it to melt a little bit so that I don't have to cook the vol au vents for very long. And this filling is ready, and now I'm going to fill it in these vol au vent shells that I have. These vol au vent cases or shells, whatever you want to call them, are made with puff pastry, and now I'm going to fill just a little bit of the filling in it. These are ready to go in the oven at 180 degrees just for 5 minutes, basically just to warm them up, because I've already added the cheese in the filling and it's already melted, you can see that. So just to warm them up, I'm going to put them in the oven. These are out of the oven and ready to plate. Nice and warm. Just in case you don't get these vol au vent cases, you can always use some crackers, Monaco biscuits, or even canapes. So try this for your next party. Subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Bye-bye.